All right.
All right, the time is now 6:30, so I will call the planning commission to order. First item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. I will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, and then next, I will take a motion to approve the meeting minutes from April 21st, 2026 planning commission.
Motion to approve the minutes from April 21st to 2026.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Amendment,
Okay,
which is why I'm opposed to approving.
okay, what's your, what amendment?
In the first section under call to orders in the meeting minute,
Mhm.
I would make a motion correct on this last check. It is misspelled.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Amendment.
I'll second that.
I'll second.
Oh, it's
Either way.
I also said it.
You choose.
Matt, you win.
All right, anything else?
That's all.
All right, so motion to approve with the amendment. We had a second. And all those in favor say aye. Aye. All right. So they are approved with the amendment. Any comments from planning commission?
Nope.
Okay. Public comments, comments to the public, comments to the planning commission should be limited to no more than 3 minutes and shall not be related to agenda item. Public comments for an agenda item may be provided during the public comment period for the item. Groups wishing to address an issue should select 1 or 2 persons. Time shall be allowed to issues shall not exceed a total of 10 minutes. Issues raised at the time are generally referred to the secretary for review. Responses will not be provided, will be provided at a later date. I will make a motion to open the period for public comment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, period for public comment. It's a little quiet. All right, I will make a motion to close the period for public comment. Do I have a second? Second. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Old business, we have none. New business. Case number TA 11, consideration of document text amendments to the city's unified development ordinance to establish a new layover district to incorporate general text updates to clarify standards for expiration and to update definitions and to update procedures for postponement provisions and for other purposes. Staff.
Evening, everyone, members. Today we'll be discussing a ordinance that proposes a comprehensive set of amendments to the Unified Development Ordinance, UDO, as part of the city's second quarter, tax amendment schedule. The changes are primarily, technical, clarifying, and administrative in nature, aimed at improving the ordinance's consistency, usability, and alignment with city policy. Key areas of amendment include procedural revisions, updating rules and permits, application deadlines, fines, in public hearings, to improve the development. A big improvement is the addition of the equestrian overlay district. Significantly expands and refines the design and use standards for the equestrian overlay district to better preserve rural character. Development standards. So this clarified rules for building facades, windows, accessory dwelling, and common driveways. Fee in lieu program. This adds a new and more flexible fee in lieu option for sideway construction and administrative corrections. So this is fixing conflicting or outdated provisions, such as making changes from things that say like Board of Commissions to City Council. Okay, can you go back?
First one?
Yes. Okay, so these are the chapters. So chapter 100, general provisions. This updates, the chapter for provisions, for concurrent applications. Chapter 110, the definitions themselves, we add a definition for building facade. Then we update the definition for building height. Chapter 211, so this is base non-residential, zoning districts. We update the permit use table to include daycares. Chapter 212, this is the special residential zoning district, so we update that permit use table as well to address, daycare facilities. Next slide, please. Chapter 214, this is the overlay zoning districts. This clarifies overlay district, and then it updates the applicability standards for, all overlays. Next slide, please. This is the updated zoning map that shows the overlay districts for the city. It establishes, the equestrian district, which we'll have some more details on later. Next slide, please. So as you can, properties Fence Road and east of Auburn Road, this is what encompasses the equestrian overlay district. It's approximately 972 acres, and we establish supplemental standards for properties within this overlay. Next slide, please. This goes over the that's in those standards. So the minimum lot size, shed setback, the equestrian fencing, and the architectural requirements. And this is what's the use table in there. So the architectural vernacular. So how we define different building elements for the equestrian overlay district. I think this is the last standard here. So this is for subdivisions that are 50 or more units is when this would apply. And then we just have some examples of the overlay district. So each slide here show different sections of the activity center and corridor overlay district. So we can just go through the slides. And lastly, we have chapter 230, which this is the standards applying to all districts. We updated section 230.110.8. This is architectural design requirements for attached and detached residential buildings. We changed, do minor major changes for this. We updated the window percentage requirements for clarity. Chapter 240, this is the off-street parking standards. So we updated how setbacks are measured in shared access easements, because that's something that comes around a lot for staff.
Does that window percentage, did that change from when we did this text amendment back in the summer? Does it adjust up or down off that?
I think this says, so the rule is clarified, the total window area must be not less than 10%. I believe the change was, the word exceeded is corrected to be less than.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It also clarifies that you can either meet the 10% requirement on each facade, or you can combine front and side facades.
Yeah, it was the methodology I read previously. It was confusing if it was 10% on all sides or if just the front and side. So we just kind of split it out. So it's a little clearer.
Okay, makes sense.
Chapter 270, so this is procedures. We just updated terms for each of the offices for PC and ZBA. There were added limitations, postponement and expiration provisions. Chapter 310, that's permits required for development construction. Similarly, we added expirations for permits and applications. And then, like I said before, the chapter 360 is infrastructure, streets, sidewalks, multi-use path and greenways. That's that fee in lieu of the program. And then chapter 1010. Next slide, please, is subdivisions. That's, we also added expirations for final flats in that. And if you have, any follow-up questions, we can expand on all the changes that were made.
Questions? Yeah, I've got a couple. With regards to subdivisions that have been approved previous to, Mulberry, within the overlay district for the equestrian, are these standards going to be applicable to those existing subdivisions when they come to fruition and actually come out of the ground? Because I know there's a couple of them that are OSC that are coming up out of the ground at some point. So are these architectural covenants going to apply to those, or was it the original ones? We're good with that.
It depends on, so we've got some transitional provisions at the beginning that say if they were given certain rights under the zoning, then based on like approvals of architectural elevations or something, then they would be allowed to continue with those.
Those elevations?
Yes, but if for some reason there weren't architecturals approved as part of the zoning, if that's the case, then these would govern, the more restrictive would govern.
Okay.
So wouldn't it also, on that same tone, if there was only certain things that were say listed from the county, we could still hold to our standards on the up?
They only get their entitlements.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that they're, whatever they were got entitled at the county level, we can't change.
Right.
If they didn't come on and get that entitlement, they have to play by the rules.
And the permit, for new developments, for some of those entitlements, level, all these developments, are they, you know, I see that we have some expiration dates on this, or are those gonna apply, or does it still go back to the same rule of those entitlements that the county gave at the zonings are indefinite? Does
I understand,
answer the
but
question?
The entitlements run with the land, they're indefinite. There are certain application processes that can expire, permits,
Permits.
things like that can expire, and they can have to submit under new ordinances. So there are certain things along the way, even with vested rights and entitlements, that do still expire.
But don't sort of site-specific zonings typically run out?
No, they run with the land.
I think the term is usually like vested rights or, yeah.
They can go on indefinitely until somebody rezones it.
So I think the way to look at it, they could say this is a subdivision that was approved for 150 lots, but not reference an exhibit site plan. If it doesn't specify that that site plan is what is being approved, it would just be a maximum of 150 lots that they are entitled to.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
And they have to have in the zoning for those entitlements, they would need to have done elevations at that point. Or
Not always.
As part of the entitlement.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
So it
But
was,
if they didn't, we have to
Then
apply
you
these.
look to the ordinance that they submit under.
it really depends on what Gwinnett County.
Okay.
deals.
Yeah. Any other? Matt?
Question that I had was around in the equestrian overlay district, around the fencing requirements. So I see in so section C there. On item B, it's talking about the coloring of the fence should be black. The question that I had was just like, is it required to be black painted? Is it black stained? Like, why did we only do the one color instead of maybe giving some options there? Uniformity. So looking for that.
Yeah, I think trying to remain consistent. I think it, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you say that? That's
Yeah,
probably
just so
about
that there's a
something.
consistent look and character.
Is the intention that it be painted can it be stained? Cause it's not specified here. It's just black. Okay.
So it could be.
Yeah,
And I asked because when I was driving, I actually noticed, not in overlay is, but actually in my district, I noticed some that they do appear black, but they are definitely a stain, like I can see a wood grain. My question is really, is that intended to acceptable the way that the
We could actually specify so that it's that consistent as far as how it's applied.
There are some building products like tracks and things that come in black shade that you would see a wood grain there, but not color. Does that make sense? So this allowed for possibility of use of multiple materials, but still getting that consistency across the.
Okay,
the
and,
line.
and if that's what we're intending is to allow that amount of flexibility, then I think this makes sense, the way it is. Because some of those are like, they will give the color, but they aren't like a opaque. If that makes sense.
I think, you know, to me, it almost seems like what you're getting at is just saying, like, it would need to be, like, okay, it needs to be like a solid color and not necessarily just where you're seeing.
I guess that's where we could use your feedback is if you do want it to be opaque, you know, we can specify opaqueness, like that it needs to be opaque black. But if you're okay with a stain that allows the wood grain to show through, you know, we could say black coloring material, stain or paint, like, you know, it really is to provide, I think, more flexibility.
I think that's okay.
I think it's okay. That was the piece that I really wasn't clear on, because when I drive around, I can see some of that variation. I mean, I can see some that's not stained or anything like that. But I also think what could be good about it, where you can leave it, where you can allow for the staining to happen, is just totally sealing the wood with the paint. Changes the lifespan of the fence. So something more breathable would be a little bit better.
Any other? So the only real thing I had. I did have some of yours, so I'm glad you that actually answered a lot. And then on the fencing. The only thought I had on the fencing is just sort of clarifying, because I know a lot of times, you know, when we're talking about fencing, just like last month, we had the case that you've got, you know, potentially a neighborhood behind. And so, you know, there's a difference between decorative fencing like this and screen fencing. So is this, I guess I'm saying is, can you still do the screen fencing and not just horse fencing? Because it could be a case where you've got a neighborhood and need to screen from that doesn't fall in, because in here it says that the height on the columns can't be more than 6 foot and the height on the rails can't be more than 5 foot. So, you know, that's not necessarily going to provide screening that could be necessary in certain situations.
Isn't it only for the road facing area? So that it's perpendicular to the road.
Just on the road frontage.
Yeah, so the back and sides and
We'll still have your back.
I mean, as long as it's, yeah, as long as it's just on the frontage. And there could be circumstances where you needed privacy on the front of them, but, you know, for the most part, probably not. But that was more my concern.
We'll review it and make sure it's clear that the idea, that we're not prohibiting
That's all, yeah,
privacy.
that's my concern, is to make sure on the back sides that that you can still do privacy things, because sometimes that is definitely necessary.
Well, but I think the terminology that's in that section about the rural view shed, that is multiple places throughout. So. 'Cause I think it was also. Yeah, it's in B when it talks about setbacks, so there's multiple places where it says that, so reviewing those as well.
Any other questions? Okay. I think that's That's all the questions we have. Thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, I will now take a motion.
Do you want to open the public meeting?
For public
I have someone from the public here. Thank you. All right, I will now open to public discussion for against this item. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So we are now open to public comment for this. Does anyone like to speak for or against?
No, sir.
All right, so I will now make a motion to close the period for public comment. Second. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, I will now take a motion for or against. Somebody want to make a motion?
Discussion.
Well, I think we already covered that.
I'll make a motion to approve, the amendment as written and recommended by staff.
Do I have a second? Second. All right, all those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, do we have, staff, is there any information? Something else? Comments?
Don't forget.
Our next meeting is going to be June 16th.
That's right.
Oh, we moved it. No, because it's the third
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the
third
right.
Tuesday. And we have one agenda item. We'll have a rezone.
I'd probably add it.
There might be two.
And don't forget, we've got Mulberry Jam Festival coming up at Duncan Creek Park, June 13th from 3 to 7. Vendors and bounce houses and bands and all kinds of family fun. So
And where's it gonna be? It's
Duncan Creek
it's
Park.
at Duncan Creek Park. Be nice.
It's gonna be real nice.
Good.
So bring families out.
Thank you. All right, if nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First and second.
Who actually